Hey, what's up, legends? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream. Today, we're going to draw with Stefan. So if you are ready for an awesome creative session with me, then let's get ready. I hope that you brought some utensils, some pencils, something to draw with, and I'm excited to do something that we have never done before on this channel, which is we're going to draw on cardboard, which is pretty awesome because one of the things that I get all the time with pretty much every package is cardboard. And what better way than to recycle all these awesome tools that we have around us? Because one of the things that I really believe is that you never need to have special tools to create. Well, maybe we need some pens, some special pens to do that, but again, I would just recommend you to maybe get your trash can out, maybe grab something that is inside here. Maybe there's just a piece of paper that is lying around that has been crumbled around that you can still draw upon, that has still maybe one empty side. And instead of throwing that out, throwing it away, let's get creative. And before we do that, I just wanted to say something to you guys. Some little creative motivation. One thing that I just recently told someone is that, and well, I had this conversation with that person about being creative, doing something new, something fresh. And it's always hard because one of the things you really want to do is to take great leaps forward. And I told that person that you need to start with small single steps. Like the easier the steps, the easier we'll get into making a bigger distance, taking longer leaps. But you won't get anywhere far if you do not start with small steps. A lot of people just want to take the first big leap when they start out right away. And instead of doing that, we kind of need to focus on doing just the small, tiny little steps, the steps that are necessary to grow as an artist. Now, there's so many quotes that I would love to write about, to talk about. And you know what? Why don't we actually select something that is really cool? A friend of mine actually asked me to draw out a quote for him, and it's, let me just get that right. I had a piece of paper somewhere with some sketches. Let me see. Oh, look at that. That's what happens when you put something in your bag and it crumbles all the way around. Now, there's something really cool on here that I feel like could work pretty well for just drawing. Now, you can draw whatever you want in this session. You don't have to follow what I'm doing, especially since I'm drawing it on cardboard. You can maybe repeat that later with a piece of cardboard, but basically the design step is really simple. So here we have a few sketches that I created, and the one that we will be looking at today is this one. This one here is the one that I want to focus on, and I'm gonna draw this here larger on this piece of paper there, and giant leaps begin with steps. That is totally wrong. I wrote this wrong. Sorry. So giant leaps begin with small steps. That's the big one, the one that we are going after. So let's see that I can get just here myself back into the video. So again, I just have a blank piece of cardboard, and I hope you guys are totally pumped to start out with this one here. So let's get a pencil. Let's get this kind of size right, and let's see. I'm just gonna get like a tiny little contrast here going. So I need some space up here for the giants, and then some space down here for the steps. Now, one way to make sure that your spacing in between, like that is all centered, is by actually taking your pencil and put that tip at the line, like if you want to see that exactly, and then grabbing your thumb and then putting it right here. So this is where my thumb is, and so now I can see just, all right, this is the same length, and let's see, actually pretty much nailed it. Only up here, that's where it needs to be a little bit thinner, and it's also cardboard has these nice and neat little lines here, so shwip, shwip, and shwip. Same thing down here and at the top, and hey, boom, my vision is still intact, it's good. So I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna split it up here. That's pretty much the center. And now let's see if I'm correct. Not exactly. This would kind of be more of the center. And so here, that's where this banner will come in. So I'm just gonna, just going to try out to draw that in. Maybe perhaps see if I can get those lines straight. So that works. And then doing the same thing here at the bottom and trying to get this all together. Now, remember always, no matter how far you want to go, it will take a lot of steps. If you want to run a marathon is not run by jumping every 200 meters forward. Like, you want to jump a few kilometers when you start out right away, but that's not how running works. Running takes a lot of steps. Like, if you want to run a marathon, it will take a lot of steps. So always keep that in mind when you're doing something. So you don't see a lot of lines, but here you go. This is kind of what you're going to see. And I'm just gonna try to keep this all on a beautiful angle. And that's where I want to cut it. Perfect. So having that shape, like, I'm just drawing out this rectangular shape, and that will help me then to see where the 3D is going in. And since I've already designed most of it, it's gonna be pretty helpful that way. I'm excited for this one. And let's see, let's get the second one. And the cool thing now about this composition, as you can see here, is that it actually repeats itself. The same thing, like, is a symmetrical way from this side and this side. So kind of getting a lot of symmetry inside, which is a really cool little trick if you are doing composition. And so in this one, I just need to make sure that I don't write the wrong word again, because that happens if you're not attentive, if you're not careful about that. So sorry that this is not, like, you don't see a lot here, but hey, we're working on that. We are trying to get some new cameras, some investing into new materials and all that. So it's going to be great. You guys are not gonna regret staying here. By the way, show of hands, who already started the new online course that I just released? So I just released a brand new online course on Building Letters 101. So kind of like how you can create all these awesome letters, how you can draw them and stuff like that. And by just show of hands, let me know if you have already started and if you are already enrolled and taking part in this crazy competition that I'm having, which is inviting someone over to Switzerland to visit me here in the studio, see some of the beautiful side of Switzerland. And I see here Daniels 11 is saying, me, awesome, so cool to have you enrolled, to have you as a student. I'm pumped that you are joining. Yes, amazing. Not yet, but soon. Ari Cortez, I'm really pumped for you. If you wanna, I wouldn't wait up too long, because again, there's a competition running only till today. So if you sign up by today, by the end of today, you will be taking part in a competition to win a trip to Switzerland. And prize number 2 is to win an iPad. So if you haven't already, the link is in the description, by the way. You can save 10% with the code, what was it? Launch for Legends. Launch in the number 4 and then Legends. So enough said here. Let's go and concentrate. So giant like this. Then we have here leap, so it's 5 letters. So small, that is the one that is important. S-M-A-L-L. It's also 5 letters. All right, so now that that is a crucial part. So giant leaps begin with small steps. I think we got it. So this is where it gets a little bit easier now, is starting off with the right way. So when I say starting off the right way, means which colors do you use and how do you start this whole process. So I'm gonna take here this is a chalk pen, and I'm just a little bit scared because it's dripping really fast, but it's covering really well. So you see there's a lot of ink here. So because I already spilled so much, I'm scared that this will drip all over me. But hey, we're gonna make this work. It's gonna work. Okay, so I'm just gonna start out with the outline of the letters. And the cool thing here is you can really take your time in building the letters, because the rest, like the 3D, the coloring around, that will happen after. It's not like coloring in piece by piece. So just all these single elements firsthand. And I'm trying to make this here a monoline. So mono weight meaning just all pretty much the same weight, same thickness. A couple of exceptions here and there, but mostly all the same weights. That will make it a lot easier to draw and create. And you see, I'm having quite a tempo of drawing here right now. Which, again, take your time. Do not hurry, rush, or do anything too fast. Work at your own speed. So it turns out this white is a little bit translucent, which is totally fine for me. Always depends on what you're going after style-wise. That's a tiny little bit too much space here at the end, but that's all right. I'm not going too far down, and then just going back up here a tiny little bit. This is where I want the dot of the eye, and then here I'm just gonna pick that up. Alright, just like this. Maybe I'm just gonna add here a bar. To fill that gap in space. Then I'm going in right here with the leap, or the actual leaps, plural. Always careful with your pens. If they start dripping, you gotta be careful, because applying too much pressure, like you'll start to press into the nib, and that nib will kind of release all that color in once. because that's kind of how it works. Like you press through and that will pump the color back into it, which is great, but again, can be dangerous for your piece of art depending on how you get started. And sometimes like it could ruin your whole piece, which you do not want it to happen, but it could. So just bear in mind that. That's all I want to say. I see Benoit in the chat. I see Freakazoid here. I see so many awesome familiar faces. Lucas from Brazil. Wow, awesome guys. Everyone is here joining in to the stream, to the live stream. I'm pumped. It's a good day to get creative. And also just a bit of news is that I'm going on a holiday break after having worked through Corona, through the whole lockdown. It's time to take a break, take a rest, recharge those batteries, and that's an important part of any creative, recharging batteries, recharging creatively, and yeah, just getting some rest, some distance from work. And even if you love doing what you do, taking a rest is always something important, something you need to do from time to time. And I tell you that I have trouble doing that, so I need to learn that lesson as well. Thank you, Esha. I'm glad that I got to encourage you to... That actually is one of my favorite things to do, is encouraging other people to start to create, help people to create. That's why I'm so pumped that we released that course finally, that it's out there, because it's been a long process to make that happen. And now that it is finally out, it's a good thing. And it's a good way to help a lot of people, because one of the things that I cannot do is to travel everywhere to all these beautiful countries, see you all. And especially right now, that just told me like, yeah, I gotta work on creating those online courses, and already working on the next one. Well, I'm waiting till I get back from my holidays to work on my next big project. And let me get that microphone a little bit closer so you guys, maybe I don't have to speak that loudly, but I can just talk. So this here really is just the first step of the process. We're going to add another color and let the background be a color in itself. So there will be like a 3-color piece. It will be like a 3-color piece. And the cool thing about that is really how much you can add into it. So the 3D we're gonna leave in the cardboard color. And we're just gonna use a background color. So that's the square that I've put in the background, which will turn out pretty cool. Like I can already see it with my eyes, but I'm really pumped to put in the second color to show you guys what I mean by all of this and how creative you can actually be by using 3 colors. So that could probably be a tutorial at some point on how to create awesome cardboard signs. And but this session here is really just about drawing, about having fun, about being creative and getting something done. So who here is watching and is getting something done? Let me know in the comments, because I would love to see all the people who are actually making something. And for those who are just watching, hey, it's cool too. All right. I love it. And Danielle's 11 is copying and is trying to copy that. And Ruhan saying we are so good. Which marker is it? So here I'm using a uni chalk. You could also use a Pilot pen. What else do I have? Like this would be a Pilot juice paint pen. And it's probably what I'm gonna use next. Is this one here. This one is a juice paint by Pilot. They offered me that, they sent me that. And it's pretty nice of them to do that. I got to collab on a project with them, so that's probably why I still have those. Now I'm always losing my pencils. The one that I was using, oh, there it is. Okay, but this one is sharpened. So here we go. I'm actually hoping that it's all dried. I'm drawing in now the 3D part. So I'm just sketching out where the blue shouldn't get. So I'm able to easily distinguish that. And also adding a second blue. I can even add another layer by adding the shadows as well. I've never thought of that yet, but you never know. Like, you always gotta try something new. That's what I keep telling people. So guys, we need to try something new. And what better time to do that than now? Otherwise, people won't take me seriously at some point. I think my cap is kind of in the way. All right, just like this. That feels right. That is amazing. I see someone in the chat here. Carmina is doing a 30-day lettering challenge, which is amazing. Challenges, drawing challenges, lettering challenges, anything that challenges you is always a absolutely wonderful idea. Definitely recommend doing it. It's also challenging, so that's why it sucks sometimes. But that's the thing that will bring you further. My 100-day creative challenge. If you haven't listened to the talk I did last week, you can rewatch it anytime. It's about creating art, not excuses, and perhaps this is something that will challenge you, but also you'll hear my story, how it went from banking to art and how this all happened. And so always a fun story to tell people about. I'm gonna actually get this a tiny little bit higher. But I feel like this is all right. Okay, so this is a little bit trickier now because now I'm using a blue color to fill in those gaps. Always remember that you can always add more color, but you cannot add less color, not when you're doing the real thing. And there's that little hair that is just bothering me right here. So here we go, we're adding some blue. Also, I can always re-add the whites, but just the paper, that is impossible. So that's where I need to be a little bit more careful on how I treat this. There's nothing here. Just gonna see if there's another smaller one. I probably put that elsewhere. All right, never mind. Ruhan is asking, which language do I speak? Is that to me? Do I use Pascas? You could use Pascas if you want to. And regarding the languages I speak Deutsch, German, and Français, which is French. And that's about it for languages. Swiss German, Schweizerdeutsch, is also not really considered a language, but hey, we can count that. It's a dialect that that Germans have a hard time understanding. So since they have a hard time understanding it, we can count that as a separate language. By the way, how's everyone doing so far? Just wanted to see that smell, if that smell comes from those pens and that paint, because it actually tastes pretty nice. It's weird, I know, but it tastes really nice. Okay, so we got one half done. We have the second half here. Trying to get it all. All right. So you see there's already like a little gap here that is just tiny little bit too big for my taste. So in Photoshop, I would kind of like put that a little bit higher up. But since we are doing the whole thing here on cardboard, in real life, there's no really pulling up to do. Any of the small, I would have pushed it a little bit higher up. All right. So one way to kind of fix this here is by kind of like dropping down the whole thing here, but I kind of need to let that dry a little bit longer. So by sizing up this banner here, we could probably get that done nicely. That would mean that we kind of would see, this is what I was afraid of. It's still wet, so there's it's whole blue. Yeah, not a great idea. All right, let's let that dry a little bit. And in the meantime, what we could do is either pull this whole thing up a tiny little bit more or leave it as is, but what we can now try is to add the 3D shadows. So this is how it goes down. Then this is where we would add the shadows. Probably not too far. So this is the problem. I teach always adding one more step, and I don't want to ruin this piece, but I don't believe that there's anything left to try to say. So we'll just go for it. Painless, well, painful, perhaps. It's gonna look good. Let's just tell ourselves that for a little bit now. It's just going to look amazing. All right, so just a tiny little bit here and there. Since this one is a little bit shorter, we're not going to add too much here. Only where it makes sense. Again, it's more for me to practice it once, and then hopefully at some other point I can actually use this, what I've learned here, what I've tried out. And then use it somewhere. Because now kind of we could add in just a tiny little bit of shadow here as well. See, now there's so many things I need to add on because I couldn't help it. I just had to try out something new that I thought would be exciting. All these decisions you make while you're drawing, and then you have to kind of like do them again and do it better and all that. But that's okay. We're here to learn. We're here to keep growing, make more. All right. This is kind of how it looks from afar. Freakazoid is right. You can always add something more and more and more. So here, should I do it with, I think I should do it with black. Do I have a black one? Yes, I do. Because there's a whole part missing here. That should say, giant leaps begin with. And maybe the black is not just too heavy, but. I feel like I didn't space this right at all. And it's gonna come in short. Well, that's okay. Just gonna start spacing it a tiny little bit further and further. See, this is what I tell you about. I warned you about putting on too much ink. The problem is I didn't listen to my own advice. Yeah, I know. Somebody said the right thing. It will only take me like 20 minutes, but then you keep adding one more step and more steps. And before you know it, we're still working on it. Yeah, I could definitely work on this one all day long. But I should stop at some point. But I think most importantly will be to add some so decorative elements are always great to use to balance out a piece. There are so many different elements that you could use to do that. But these stars are currently highly rated, and I just love them. And like it actually behind the Okay, gotta stop somewhere. But I feel like this is really, really good. So I hope that the ink has dried mostly. And let's switch over here so you guys can see the whole piece. Giant leaps begin with small steps. Beautiful piece created with a lot of different colors actually. But basically blue and white is what you need. Again, you can add a lot of more steps if you want to. And I see Jessica Kunz just donated $4.99, which is basically a good cup of coffee. Thank you so much, Jessica, for your support, for helping with this whole live stream. And again, don't forget, giant leaps begin with small steps, because even if you want to jump ahead, get far, get good, get great at anything, you need to start small. So talking about starting small, I want to share just a short little bit about my brand new online course that I have just released. So this is the online course here. The brand new online course, Ultimate Lettering online course, comes with Building Letters 101. That is the part where I explain how you can come up with all these different lettering styles, be it kind of like the styles that I draw in the background or whatever it is you have your eyes set on. If you want to stop being stuck in the couple of styles that you have created already, then you want to branch out, start copying everything that you see, being able to copy that, but not only just copy, but replicate it in your own way, understand the structure of a letter, then this lettering course is for you. Also, another part of the lettering class is Composition Masterclass. So this is part 2. You can buy them both individually. Composition Masterclass teaches you everything you need to know about creating different composition. For example, for this job, I created like 4 different versions, 4 different composition sketch. As you can see, there's let me just show you. So as you can see here, there are a lot of different versions of this sketch. And again, if you want to learn how to create your own different versions, then this composition masterclass is for you. If you're struggling with creating quotes that are longer than 2 or 3 words, or 4 or 5 maybe, if you feel you have limits in composition, then this course is exactly for you. Right now, if you sign up by today, you will be taking part in the big competition drawing. So you could win a trip to Switzerland, here to my studio. You could be here on the live stream with me. We can draw something together. We can use the chalk wall that is right behind this camera, and we can do all kind of fun sorts of stuff. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to see or hear, this is going to be a full day where we're going to spend one-on-one together. Also, you're going to meet the rest of my team, or if they are not around, we'll definitely introduce you sometime. But you will get to be flown in and have a stay, 3-night stay here in the hotel, and also just enjoy some good old food, some good Swiss traditional food. And yeah, it's just gonna be amazing. So don't forget, you can actually subscribe. You can enroll to this class right now, just under $200 if you use the code LAUNCH4LEGENDS, meaning launch in cap letters, 4 and legends with an S at the end, then you can get 10% off, and it's only valid today. So again, link in the description to the online course. So it's stefankunz.teachable.com or just stefankunz.com/online, and you'll find the link, and you'll find everything you need to know about those courses, learn everything you need to know, and then enroll, start your lettering journey today, and get great and learn something brand new. So if you want to invest in your future, in yourself, learn how to do this more, come up with great composition ideas, find out all these different styles of lettering that you've seen me do, then this course is right for you, because I teach you the process of how you can do that and how you can keep on growing, like the same steps that I still take to grow in learning. This is what I do and what I teach you in these classes. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, check out the link in the description for the course, and hope to see you very soon. I'm gonna be off for a trip to Greece to get some time to relax, so I'll probably see you after, and I can't wait. So stay awesome, stay creative, keep creating, and again, don't forget to take one step at a time, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Don't forget, composition, masterclass, and course. So see you guys soon.